One decision we made pretty early on was when we went to launch Philo outside of college campuses, we were really looking at whether we were going to partner with a lot of vendors who could potentially help us create pieces of the infrastructure that we needed. And we ended up making this decision where, we felt like they didn't actually really have what we wanted or what we felt like the service needed. So we ultimately built almost all the technology in-house ourselves, including a lot of the technology to enable advertising. And then we've partnered with a bunch of companies to help us deliver that experience, connect us with advertising partners and help, run advertising decisions. But we really wanted to build really deep functionality and capability into the platform to support lots of different ways of doing that and a really rich, deep integration. So, it's taken us a little bit of time to really get the advertising side up and running because, of course, there's always the question of scale. When you start from zero, it takes a while before you can reach meaningful scale for advertising. And also, just the area of dynamic ad insertion is pretty rapidly developing. When we first launched, most of the channels on our platform, almost all of them, did not support dynamically replacing the inventory in the live channel, for example. And now most of them do, and all of them will soon. So, that's enabled us to really go much deeper on this and offer a lot more capabilities, both to our partners as well as with our own advertising inventory on the platform. And so it's a big focus for us right now to really develop that out and enable new capabilities in that area. Philo is a live TV plus VOD and DVR service. We cover all three categories and we do dynamic ad insertion across all three categories. And so almost, like I said, basically every network on Philo does dynamic ad insertion in the VOD content, and most of them and soon almost all of them will do it in the live content as well. And we do then also do dynamic ad insertion when the content's recorded. If it's viewed at a later date, we can also figure out what the right advertising is to insert, in that programming as well. But, in some ways, what we offer is similar to what advertisers and partners already know around its television content. It's, almost all the viewing is traditional TV content that people know from, quite some time now. And most of the viewing is actually on televisions themselves. 90% of the viewing is on TVs, so it's being experienced in a living room environment. But we offer these new capabilities around DAI, around the measurement, around the targeting, and the data that we provide that are new and unique.
Yeah, just let's talk a little bit about the targeting. So we hear a lot about targeting audiences. We hear about addressable, IP addressable, household addressable, targeting audiences. What does that mean, and what can you deliver to advertisers?
So we enable a lot of that functionality. I think that, part of it is the advertising world is still sort of catching up, particularly in television advertising. Historically, it hasn't really been driven by highly targeted, highly addressable advertising. Generally, it's been mostly geared towards large national ad buys. So I think that it's happening. It's sort of making the transition, and we do offer that capability to, target the advertising on a number of characteristics, and we are over time trying to add more and more things that advertisers can target on. And then, I think that you have that ability to also be fairly precise about how, who's going to see the ad, how often they're going to see it, when they should see it again, et cetera. And, I think that's also an important piece of the equation.
Great. And finally, Andrew, what's your hope for the next 12 months in terms of the functionality, the depth, and the reach of Philo?
So on the sort of consumer-facing side, we've been growing very quickly since our launch. Basically we've grown on average something like 30% a month, every month. And, we have more than doubled the subscriber base just, in the past 5 months, and we feel like we're on a really good trajectory right now. So we want to keep that up. We feel like I said, we love the position we have in the market, and we think that the product and the service we're offering is, really best in class. So we're excited about keeping that going. There's a lot that we're doing to develop the product. I think that the first phase of these services was really recreating what existed in the TV experience, that people knew from cable. And the next phase is really starting to do things that are really new and unique. And we're getting to some of that in terms of the social functionality that's built into our product, building more cross-device control, being able to control your TV with your phone, for example, through the Philo app, or have these more rich cross-device experiences. I think on the advertising side, we are really getting, going from kind of a walk to a run and really starting to get up to speed on that side. And I think there's a lot that can be done there, not only in enabling functionality around targeting, but really measuring the quality of the ad experience on Philo and seeing really who's being exposed to what kind of advertising when, and really thinking about how we can enable our partners and advertisers to really hone and fine-tune that experience so that people aren't seeing repeated ads, aren't seeing low quality ads. There's a lot of control over making sure that experience is really good. We have a very product focused approach in everything we do, and we want advertising to be no different. We want, not everyone necessarily looks forward to advertising as the high point of using the product, but it should feel as good as it possibly can in terms of the user experience. And we want to build the capabilities to not only allow advertisers to improve it through better targeting and more relevant advertising, but also build up the measurement ability to really make sure that we're delivering on that bar of quality.